These are the 7 signs that your downline is about to quit. Now, I don't want you to get worried and panic, but it's eventually going to happen that people in your team are going to leave. Until you master the art of retention, the majority of people are going to leave. Sometimes it feels like you're pouring water into a leaky bucket. So here are the 7 signs that you're able to identify when your downline are about to quit. Number 1, this is kind of the more obvious one to identify, but the person stops attending the training calls or the Zoom calls or even the events themselves. They just stop attending. Before, they were super excited. They were attending every single one. They were telling you that was the best call ever. And then all of a sudden you don't hear from them. You don't see them on the Zoom call, or they're on the Zoom call with their camera off, which probably means that it's not even listening to the information in the presentation. In the beginning, when you go on those Zoom calls, you're so fired up. You're like, oh my God, this is great. Everyone's dropping 7s into the chat. I can't wait. And then all of a sudden, because if it's done correctly, the trainings are repeatable, because every time you repeat things, people remember it. And when people remember it, they repeat it. That's what gets repeated gets remembered. What gets remembered gets repeated. Because they feel like they've heard it all before, they stop attending because they think it's a better use of their time to do something else. They stop attending. That's danger number 1, sign number 1 that your downline is about to quit. Number 2 is they start pointing the finger and playing the blame game. Things like, oh, the compensation plan is not as good as I thought. Oh, the product's not as good as it used to be. Like, oh, it used to be delivered in 2 days. Now it gets delivered in 3 days. Or things like this. This happens so much with people who maybe are business-minded or entrepreneurial-minded. You know what? The company should add a bonus like this. The company should do an incentive like this. You know what the company really should do? They should like supply these tools for us to make it easier. They start doing everything they can to point the blame at other things, because the majority of people in life, human behavior is people have to point the blame at something else before they ever point the blame at themselves. But when the blame is with you and when you take full responsibility, you will deserve full credibility. It's very difficult to go to a company event and see a top income earner who doesn't take full responsibility for their actions, full responsibility for their business. Because if you want the credibility, you have to accept full responsibility. And hey, look, every time you point the finger of blame somewhere else, there are 3 fingers pointing back at you and a thumb upstairs to the big man up top who's looking down and going, that's you. You've got to fix it. It's going to happen. And I just want you to be warned that when people start saying to you and calling you like, oh, you know, the product needs to be better and the compensation plan needs to be better, you're going to have to understand that, hey, these people are probably going to leave at some time. All I'm going to say is, hey, what can you control? What can you do about it? And sometimes they're going to be like, oh, blah, 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 and they're going to leave. Don't worry about it. Don't chase after people not to quit. Instead, go replace them. I always had the attitude of, if I knew that someone was going to quit, then I always went out there and went, I'm just going to go replace it with 2 or 3 other people. And I know it's easier said than done, but when you master the art of recruiting, it's not that difficult to go and do. Now, my dad used to say to me, he said, Fraser, I can guarantee failure, but I can't guarantee success. And I always used to laugh about that, because it's so true. Like, if you don't attend the events, if you blame other people, if you do some of the other things on this list, you're gonna fail. But if you don't, then you've got a chance of succeeding. It's not guaranteed. You can't guarantee success, but you can give people a good chance. Number 3, people start making excuses about the time that they're spending inside the business. Oh, I can't come to that event because little Jimmy's got his 3rd month anniversary of breathing. I can't come to that event because the dog decided to make 2 poos in a day instead of 1. I can't come to that event because I've broken the steering wheel in my car. I can't come. They start making excuses as to why they can't come to the event coming up. They make excuses as why they can't get their team there. They just keep making excuses. And there's a great saying, you can make money, you can make excuses, but you can't make both. So when your team stops kind of having that energy and that excitement and starts changing their energy and excitement for excuses, then be warned and be very afraid. Maybe not afraid, but they're probably going to quit. And that's fine, because you're going to recruit, maybe you're going to build the team to 100 people, and eventually it's going to be 30 active. Like, I don't know of one company or one team in the world that has 100,000 team members, of which 70,000 of them are active. Now, they might have 100,000 team members, 70,000 active, and then 100,000 customers, but it's inevitable that people are going to quit. People are going to move teams. People are going to move homes. People are going to move cars. People are going to change iPhones. Like, it's inevitable that people move on. And it's interesting. And if you're in a situation to be able to do this, you can do it. But sometimes when I go to events and maybe there's 100 people, 500 people, 1,000 people, 5,000 people in the room, I will ask, hey, who's been in the business for more than a year? And a lot of hands will go go up, but the majority of people in the room have been involved for less than a year. Now I'll jump it up to 3 years. Who's been involved for more than 3 years? And the number of hands significantly drop, because the biggest percentage of people in the room are people who have been involved from 0 to 3 years. After that, you go up to 7 years and the hands drop again. And then after 7 years, there's a very small number of people, because you're going to hit a big storm within the first 3 years. Then you're going to hit a huge storm within your first 7 years. After that, you've got the experience, the knowledge, the know-how, and the confidence to understand that the storms are going to come. It's part of the business. I need to just grow through what I need to go through. Number 4 is they stop and they avoid celebrating those small wins. In the beginning, when you get someone to say yes to watch a presentation, you're like, yes, so fired up. Well, in the beginning, when you read that book for the first time, you're like, whoa, this book's amazing. In the beginning, when you go to your first event and you're so fired up, you're like, this is the best thing. And then again, repeatable action tends to get boring for the majority of people. That's why you've got to master the mundane. And then you get a customer and then, it's just a customer. Like, I'm making 3,000 a month anyway. Like, one customer's making me €3 a month. Like, big deal, right? You go to the event and you're like, I've heard it all before. You read the book and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, I'm not going to do anything with the information. You go in the Zoom room and a top income earner speaks and you're like, yeah, I've heard his story before. When they stop celebrating the small wins, either they're ready to quit, either their ego has got too big, or they just need some sort of refreshment for you to be able to remind them of, that's the business. You were sick of your job before you joined this business because of you having to do the same thing over and over and over again. At least with this, you're repeating the same things for a different outcome. Insanity is defined by doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. That's what a job can be sometimes. Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a bigger income. You can't. The salary is a salary. Maybe you're going to get a bonus every now and then if it happens in the contract. But in network marketing, you could do the same thing over and over and over again, and the new result will come if you welcome it, if you affirm it, if you manifest it, and you celebrate it. I think it's Tony Robbins who said that if you don't celebrate your wins and successes, you're going to fail, or you've already failed. And it's so true. So recognize the people. Hey, if you have a small win, shout them out in front of a crowd to at least give more chance of them being like, you know what, that is a big achievement. Go me. And it stops them from wanting to quit. And remember, people don't quit and people don't leave when they feel loved and appreciated. If you have a lot of people who are wanting to quit, then again, instead of pointing, people just keep quitting. Fraser says they keep quitting because that's part of it. But the reality is, what have you done to make sure they feel loved and appreciated? Because that's what people need the most. Point number 5, they're silent in the chat. They're silent in the communication. When my dad recruited me, he said, Fraser, I ask just one thing of you. Yes, I need you to be coachable and willing and have the ambition and the work ethic, but just speak to me every day. If you speak to me every day, I know you're in the fire. I know you're around the fire. I know you've got that spark. I know that you're going to make magic happen. The moment that I don't hear from you is the moment that you've gone missing. And when you go missing, I ain't going to come and find you. It's not my job to go and find all the missing people. It's my job to work with the people who are close to me. Is it easier for 100 people to contact one, being the upline, or is it easier for me to contact all 100 people in the team? It's easier for 100 people to contact one. If you're the upline and you tell that to your team and say, hey, just contact me every single day, you're going to really identify how many of the people you've recruited are actually active thinking about the business. Because every time before I went to bed, I'd go, oh, Dad, I've not spoken to you today. It's been a great day. Spoke to 3 people, got 2 no's, got 1 yes. Tomorrow's another day. Bring it on. My dad then got excited. When he got excited, he passed that excitement on to me, which got me more excited to do more work, which then got him. And we fed each other the energy that's needed in order to win. So this is what you need to do, especially with the people who may be quieter in your chat. You just reach out to all your frontline or all the people in your team, depending on how big the team is, and you say, hey guys, from now on, every single day, reach out to me before you go to bed. It's not, hey, Fraser, the weather was really great today, wasn't it? No, it's not, hey, Fraser, what did you have for dinner? No. Hey, Fraser, what should I watch on Netflix? No. Hey, Fraser, what book should I read? No. It's, hey, Fraser, just checking out for the day, spend some time with the family. Just so you know, I didn't speak to anyone today, didn't do any presentations, got 1 no from a previous presentation that I followed up with. Tomorrow's another day. I don't have to reply to it. They need to know. I'm not going to reply to every message, but I need you to know that I will be worried and concerned if you miss. And the rule was, don't miss twice. Like, don't miss on a Sunday and then a Monday. You can miss 1 day, but don't miss twice in a row. All right. And again, by doing this, you're going to be able to identify the people, and you're not going to worry about the people people who aren't messaging you and reaching out to you. And that's the idea, that those people feel loved and appreciated because you're the first person that says, message me every day about your day. I want to know about your day. I don't want you to ask me about my day. I want you to know that I'm interested in your day, in your results, in your success, in your activity. And if you see 0, for a week, for 2 weeks, it's let's jump on a call and let's figure out why there's a load of zeros. All we need to do is turn them into 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, and the results will come. Point number 6. This is kind of adding on to the last point, but they stop reaching out for help. Now, yes, they could be independent. Now, if they've got the success and they've maybe outranked you, then potentially they might reach out to your upline or your upline's upline for help. And hey, don't worry about that. Don't be offended about that, because that's the dream. Having someone who is more successful in the business than you teach people in your team to be more successful than you, that's leverage. Now, it might hurt at the event sometimes when you get recognized as a ruby and then you have 2 of your team members being recognized as a diamond and double diamond and blue diamond and black diamond and crown diamond or whatever that might be. You should celebrate that I have better people in my team than myself, because that's the dream of most people. Don't be someone who's like, oh, they're not coming to me for advice, they're coming to my upline. Great, that's leverage. That means you have a business. That means you have independence. But when your team is smaller and they reach out like, hey, how should I do this? How should I handle that? What's the answer to this? What's this? What would I do with this? What should I send? What should I do? What should I say? When's the next event? And then all of a sudden they don't go to the next event and they stop asking questions. If they stop asking questions, they stop reaching out for help. They either know everything, well, then their results should be great. But if they don't reach out and they don't have the results, it's because they're not thinking about the business or they're not doing the business. That's a cause for worry. That's a cause for concern. That usually means they're very close to quitting. Now, little side note on this, it doesn't mean that they're going to quit. It just means that they're very close to quitting. These points that I'm mentioning should give you reasons and milestones to realize I probably need to reach out to Sarah. Now, she's probably close to quitting, but if I can say something that stops her from quitting and it gives her another 90 days in the business, which could involve going to another event or so on, something like that, then that could give her the spark to then do the activity, which gives her the breakthrough result, which gives her the story of, I was so close to quitting, but I didn't, and I got my breakthrough. And point number 7 here, reason number 7 why most people quit in network marketing is they don't reach the expectations that they set. Again, Tony Robbins, I've quoted him a lot today. Tony Robbins says you need to change your expectations for appreciations. Instead of, oh, I thought I was going to make $100,000 a year after my first year, it's, yeah, but you're making $100 a week extra income, which is more than you were making previously, or you now know something that you didn't know before, or you now know a person that you didn't know before. Maybe you know yourself better than you did before. Hey, you've gone on that trip, you've done this event, you've spoken to that person, you've read that book. So it's all about changing the expectations for appreciations. Almost everyone isn't going to hit what they expected to hit in network marketing. That it's a letdown business. People get let down by people in their team. So I'm going to be the number 1 recruiter. They don't recruit themselves. I'm going to bring 10 people to the event. They don't even go themselves. Like I'm going to make $100,000 a year. They do 97,000. That was me, by the way. I wanted to make $100,000 in my year. Made 97,000. I was like, no. And my dad was like, you're so disappointed with 3,000 that you didn't make. You should be super excited about the 97 that you did make. Yeah, but Dad, I wanted to hit every goal that I set. And he said to me, you're not going to. And a great example of this now, there's a great tennis player. You maybe have heard of him. His name was Roger Federer. And he famously said that he only won 54% of the points that he played. But that allowed him to be like 2nd or 3rd greatest player of all time, according to the stats in terms of major results. 54%. That means if you don't hit 46% of your goals, you can still be world class, one of the best that's ever played the game of network marketing. Crazy, right? If you haven't already done so, do me a massive favor, smash subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and be aware that all of these 7 points are just reasons that maybe be a reason why people quit, so you can fill in the holes. How do I make people feel more loved and appreciated? How do I get them to more events? How do I make sure that they can reach out to me whenever they want? How can I get them to contact me with their activity? Do the following. You'll save more people, which will give you better chance of winning. But just remember, people quit. It's part of it. I'll see you next time.